today. This is Coach D. Darrell Spears here once again. Happy to have a discussion with you once again, trying to push out some content while I have the time. Very, very busy in all of my endeavors professionally. So for today, we're going to talk about the dating situations. We're going to talk about, again, dating, the affordability of dating. We're going to talk about being cheap in dating. We're going to just talk about the fact of how this particular topic of dating and the affordability of dating and what you should and should not pay, and how we as a community, or as an American culture, how we have bastardized the state of dating. It has been bastardized to the fact that people have a sense of entitlement on both ends. There are men who feel that they should not spend a certain amount of money on a date. There are women who are basically exploiting men for meals and activities. And on both sides, there are people who are dating or interacting with one another on dates, pretending to like each other for forever different reasons. That's just a reality. And so I want to tackle the fact that, particularly I'm kind of referencing earlier videos, if you cannot afford to date, you just can't afford to date. I encourage, particularly men, if you cannot pay for at least a $50 to $100 date, then you should not be going out on dates. Okay? You should not be dating. Dating costs money. Women like to be treated for whatever level they feel is good, because every woman has a different gauge on what they consider a good date. There are women who don't mind going to Chili's and Applebee's. There are some women who don't mind going to the local Greasy Spoon and having a meal and chatting. There are some that don't mind going to Starbucks and having a coffee and chit-chatting. There's some people that want to go to Pappadeaux. There are some people who want to go to Jimmy V's. They want to go to Truluck's. Okay? They want to go to Benihana, Ruth Chris. They want to go to these places. Then you got those that want all kind of exuberant things. And on both ends, there's a lot of unrealistic expectations. But particularly with men, the fact that you want to go on dates, and there are even men who actually think that on a first date the woman should pay half, and you're not making a good impression. I don't give a damn what generation of women, all generations of women want to feel like a man can treat them a certain way. And what the treatment means, if they can go and do things for the free and you can afford to pay for it. Okay? I don't give a damn if this woman is worth millions or a woman that's broke. Women like to feel that men like to and can pay for things for them to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Men have been dating and courting like that since the beginning of time. And if you force a woman, or a woman feels that she has to pay, unless she offered, and even if she offered, as a man, you should step up and say, no, I have this. Now, further down the line, as I have talked about before, I can see as the relationship is consistent and your female, your girlfriend or what have you, wants to do something nice for you and pay for it, then she has the liberty to do so. But particularly in the developmental stages and the dating and just kind of getting and vetting of one another, decide whether or not this is worth pursuing, men should be paying for dates. Period. And if she wants to go somewhere you can't afford, you should be honest enough to say, I don't feel comfortable with paying that kind of money for a first date, or I can't afford to date you, period. And if she can't accept that and go on a cheaper date, or a date that you can afford, then that's not the person for you. Period. I was looking at a video the other day with Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco. We changed his name. He talked about, even as a millionaire, he dated women and was very frugal on the first, and he can afford, expensive, extravagant dates. And you know what? If women did not accept the fact that he wanted to treat them on a low level type date that's highly affordable for anybody, if they couldn't accept, doing basic things that he liked or eating at these places which he eats at frequently, then that was not the person for him. And he stated there's a lot of beautiful women that did not want to date him or refused to because they were expecting the most, and he wasn't willing to give that. And the women who agreed, as the woman he's married to, did not have a problem going on a cheap date with him that he spent less than $30, $40. That's facts. So there has to be some level of flexibility there. But my position, particularly for the men, if you cannot afford to date, you should not be dating. And if a woman wants to go on dates that you can't afford, let her know you can't afford that. And if she can't accept that, that's her problem. Move on. Do not go broke trying to impress someone that you don't know even really likes you or not. It's just the facts. Now, later on, as the relationship progresses and you got to know each other and you're more into each other, yeah, you need to up your game. You can start off small and you can build your way up if that's the way you want to go. But if the woman is not feeling that, she's not feeling it. You're not for each other. And also for women, if you're expecting men to take you out on spending hundreds of dollars, even men who can afford it are not going to be willing to do that. You're being unreasonable, and a lot of men, even if they can afford it, are not willing to spend that kind of money on a first date if they're not assured that they're going to see you again, or that this is a relationship that you both feeling each other. It's just the facts. Nobody's just going to freely just throw their money around just so that you can have a good time, and you don't even like them. Men, particularly in the 90s and the 2000s, were subjected to that. And these other generations have caught on, and they're not willing to do that. And I understand that. But in that don't mean that as men, you should be cheap in dating. So, that's just my perspective on that today. I encourage men to go on dates in which you can afford, and that you're spending to me, a respectable amount of money where someone is having a decent time. And don't be cheap. This is Coach D. Darrell Spears. Have a great day.